How's it going, guys? Football-ManagerYouthDevelopment.co.uk here. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to pick your matchday squad. When you're playing Football Manager, one of the most important things that you have to focus on whilst managing your team is your matchday squad. So obviously it's really important to make sure you're giving youth players a chance in the first team. You need to be thinking about squad rotation as well. So in this video, I'm going to give you some tips. Hopefully, if you are quite experienced at Football Manager, you might learn some new things, but this video is mainly going to be aimed at beginners of Football Manager. I would love to hear your tips as well on this topic, so if you do have any comments on this video, please do leave your comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. And of course, if you do like the video, please do press the like button as well. It really does help the channel. Okay, so for the process of making this video, basically I've got a file with Northern Irish team, and not doing too bad at the moment. So just having a look at the league table. I played 16 games, got 29 points at the moment. Hopefully I'll be able to catch the teams up there. This was just a little project that I just wanted to get involved with just before Football Manager 2016 come out. So the best thing that you need to do, guys, is just to make sure that you're making a custom view. It's pretty easy to make a custom view. I've made quite a lot of videos in the past about how to make custom views, but clearly, the most important things that you do need to know are your players' morale, their form, condition, match fitness, things like average rating, current ability and potential are quite important as well. Obviously, you need to know their position as well. So I think what a lot of people would probably do when they sort of begin to pick their matchday squad, what they might do is just sort it by ability. And of course, that is a very, very good thing to do. However, you can sometimes find that you will get better performances. You can actually be surprised basically from the performances that you can get from players that are maybe not as good. So this guy here, just as an example, an 18-year-old, he's got 2 stars at the moment, but his average rating over the course of the season so far is 7.15. Currently, his form is not too good at the moment, but what I would advise, guys, when you are picking your matchday squad, the best thing to do is firstly select by form. So we can see here that obviously if your players are playing well, then they do deserve to be in your first team squad. Mourinho is kind of going through it at the moment at Chelsea, so they're not performing too well. He's left the likes of Hazard out the team, Matic, Ivanovic. Players like this are being left out the team because they're on poor form. And probably the worst thing that you can do as a manager, so just for example, this guy down here, his form is 6.38 at the moment, which is obviously absolutely horrendous. He is rated as probably one of my better players, but he's just simply not performing on the pitch. So I really, really do not want a player like that sort of in my first team squad. If he's not performing well, then quite simply, he's not going to be getting into my matchday squad. So make sure that you sort it by form, guys. And what you basically need to be doing is just kind of going through, putting all the players in their positions where they can play. What you do find as well, so you might notice here that a lot of my players, the ones that are actually performing well and are on good form at the moment, they do get a lot of appearances in the first team squad. So with that being said, it's really important. If you do have players on form, you do need to make sure that you're keeping them in your team. And the likelihood is, so if I do sort it by average rating, you can see there's a couple of kind of examples here. Like this guy, he's only played 4 games. His form's not been the kind of best throughout the whole season, or he's not on the best form at the moment, but he's got a chance of being in my first team. But, when players are on form, you can see that I do give them a lot of appearances. And that is obviously reflected in where my team is in the league table. So, obviously, because my players are playing well, that makes your team on form as well. So, that's really important. Obviously, when you're going through your team, you just need to be making sure that you're just, knowing where the players play. And you can just slowly just keep putting them in their positions that they're kind of used to playing in. So, like I said previously, you don't necessarily need to worry about current ability. So I've got this guy here called Ryan O'Hare. Before you look at this guy's attributes, just do remember that I am playing in the bottom league of the Northern Irish League. So obviously this guy's not very good at all. When I signed this guy, he was playing at a team where his average rating was 7.19. This is what attracted me to him in the first place. And so, since coming into my team, he's kind of carried on that, vein of form, basically. 7.20. Average rating since he's played in the league teams. And to be honest, I've probably got a few other different left backs that are better than him. For example, this guy here, James Wilson. Again, don't worry about the attributes. I am playing in the worst league in Northern Ireland, but on paper, this guy's got 2-star average rating, but this guy's got 1-star average rating. But the thing is, like, this guy's average rating is 6.6, which is obviously not as good as 7.04. So I've got no qualms about putting a guy that is rated as 1-star current ability, so long that he's putting it in the performances that I need from him. So yeah, as you're going through as well, so what I would highly recommend when you are going through your matchday squad, you need to be also having a look at morale. So just for example, this guy here, although his form is 6.92 over the last 5 games at the moment, I am having a look at his morale, and his morale is fairly good at the moment. So just as an example, I don't actually have another left midfielder. Potentially I could put Gareth Bingham in at left midfield, and I have played in there a few times, but he's been quite important in the middle of the pitch recently. So yeah, potentially if you do have players on bad morale, that can definitely affect their performance. So even though you can have a guy that's got good form for the last 5 games, if his morale's just simply not there, then that really should, have a little bit of a bearing on your team selection. So yeah, you're just literally just going through, guys, just kind of picking the players, and you can see here that it's an easy way to pick your team. Obviously, you've got guys like this who, his form's dipping, but yeah, in terms of the way he's actually been playing this whole season. So I've been giving this guy a hell of a lot of first team football. And he's got 10 goals in 15 games, which is probably why I'm pretty high up in the league. So just from a kind of beginner's point of view, guys, just make sure that you are having a look when you're selecting your matchday squad at the player's form and player morale. Clearly, what you can do as well, and what tactic that I use as well. Just for example, if I kind of pick these key players for, in my matchday squad, and I couldn't particularly, there's a lot of, kind of players that aren't particularly performing too well for me. At the bottom here. So what I do sometimes do, if you've got a quick pick, you can go to unpicked positions and pick the team without restrictions. I do use that method quite a lot. So obviously I have picked the bulk of the squad, and then if you sort it by picked positions, you can just have a real quick scan. So potentially this guy here, John Cochran, he's a 3-star average, 3-star current ability, but his form at the moment is 6.06. So I may potentially have a look down here. I can see this guy, Chris Coleman, his best position is as a fullback, so he wouldn't particularly, command a place in my first team. But yeah, you can just have a quick scan through the team. Just make sure, if there's any players that you might want to swap over, then you obviously can do that. But yeah, like clearly in an ideal world, what you want to be doing is picking your players with the best ability, who are on form and who do have good morale, but it's not always possible. So yeah, just don't be scared basically to put any players in that have a lower ability into your first team squad. I'm going to call this the end of the episode, guys. I'm going to make it quite a short one, but I just wanted to show you how I pick my matchday squads. Just really focusing on like form, morale, average rate, and obviously condition and match fitness do play a part. But yeah, the main message I want to get across here is just don't always focus on current ability, especially if form and morale have completely gone out the window. It's really, really not worth focusing on the current ability of the player if he's performing like a player who's well below his current level. So yeah, please do subscribe to the channel, guys. We'll be back very, very soon for some more Football Manager videos.